thank you for joining me to receive this message. So I'm going to pull one of these cards first. This is the deck of, hold on, and I will tell you, it is the deck of Today is Going to Be Great. So this is an inspirational deck. Let's see what messages wants to come out for this. Everything is coming together. And it's very interesting because right away I'm getting that vibe of someone who is maybe feeling like everything is falling apart. And this message is saying everything is coming together. So this could be someone who is going through some sort of release where they're letting go, or things are falling apart that are not for their greater good or destined for the future, things like that. On the back of this, and I do want to bring this up because this is going to be important. You can write this stuff down and really do these little exercises. What was the best part of your day so far? And share 3 things you're grateful for, and what are you looking forward to? So I really strongly recommend you write these down. Just answer these quickly, like whatever is the first thing that pops to your mind when you're reading these things, and see how that manifests and grows, expands, and evolves. So we'll leave this, everything is coming together right here. I am going to use, this is the Mystical Wisdom deck is the next deck that I'm going to be using. It was $144 when I said that, so I don't know if that means something to anyone out there. Wow. All right, let's start this reading strong. Enlightenment. Pursue spiritual growth. So this does feel like some sort of ascension. You know, we always are going through some sort of ascension, but I do feel more so lately the energies are really magnified. They're really expansive. They're bigger shifts, they're bigger changes, there's bigger and you know, ascensions taking place right now. I don't feel like they're kind of like the smaller ascensions, minor ascensions. This feels like a very life-changing major ascension that we're going through. You can tell that with the astrology that's at play right now. The next card that is coming up is Cheer Up, Live in the Moment. And it's interesting to see this because I really feel like this is talking about this energy that was right up there. Everything is coming together, and where I felt that energy of maybe someone is feeling like everything is falling apart. I don't get that vibe that everything is falling apart. I think that things are falling apart or falling away. That's a better way to look at it. They're falling away that are not for your greater good, that are not in alignment with your destiny, your path for the future. Wow, look at this bottom of the deck. Illusion, embrace the truth. And this feels to me like somebody who is really shattering the illusions, like shattering them or breaking away from confusion, distorted energy, really seeing the truth of situations and experiences. I have been talking about this, or I was speaking on this. These were energies that were showing up last week in the readings that I was doing. The next card is the Angel of Miracles. I'm hoping you guys all see this, but I'm really feeling that energy of crown chakra, which I do feel last week I was picking up on as well, where you're really being guided. Things are being downloaded. You're receiving messages. I feel like it's a matter of you aligning with your higher self, having faith and trusting and believing in what your intuition is saying to you and acting accordingly. Open your heart and expect a miracle. And look, 7 heavenly virtues on the bottom of the deck. This is keys to goodness. So again, it gives me that energy of this enlightenment, this ascension, this aligning with the higher vibrational energies, like being connected to energies that are positive, inspiring, motivating, nurturing, the positive aspects of life, right? And really looking at the energies that you're around or you're connected to that are lower vibrational frequencies. And I do feel like making shifts and changes, right? So I did feel like these 2 cards came out. I'm going to show these to you before I put them back in. Battle of the Blues, take steps towards positive change. Again, that positive energy. And 7 deadly sins. This is humanity's destructive traits. And I feel like that's what this message is talking about, right? Like I'm more wanting to, like I'm saying wanting to, but I feel like this is a collective energy of wanting to align with more higher vibrational things, and you can take that where it resonates in your life, whether this be in relationships. You'll know what houses are activated. Look at your chart and look at the astrology that's taking place right now. There is this huge energy, right? There's this opposition between Neptune and Saturn, and it's in Neptune and Saturn are conjunct, and they are in opposition to Mars in Libra. So there does feel like this really like restrictive energy as far as movement goes, moving forward. And I feel like it's a result of the opposition, which is learning a lesson, something to do with the timing, shattering delusions, illusions, confusions, those sorts of things. I feel like this is more about having the structure and discipline to tap into your creative energy, seeing outside the box or thinking outside the box. And as you are doing that, you're recognizing when things are starting to move forward for you. As a result of being in alignment. I just feel like this, what's meant to move forward are things that are right, fair, and just, and so if things are not, or seeming like, or feeling like they're not working out right now, things aren't happening or moving, be mindful. Take a deep dive and really go within and look at, are you being honest about some of the things in your life that are working, they're not working? Do they inspire you? Do they drain you? You really need to look at those things and make mindful choices and decisions. The next card that comes out is letting go. Learn to let go. And again, we were talking about Saturn, which is about learning some lessons. And I feel like this is where feel like these are talking about some of the lessons where we are learning and acknowledging and accepting what we need to let go, what things are helping to enhance us, what things are in alignment to help us move forward, to grow, to expand, and what things are dragging us down, right? Bottom of the deck is moving forward. Get ready for positive changes. And I feel like this is because someone is aligning their energy with the higher vibration. They're no longer willing to be stuck, stagnant, hanging in limbo, going through the same old every day. There's something that just feels like it's unfulfilling or not resonating on a soul's level. There just feels like this longing, knowing that there is something more, and there is something more. And it feels to me like somebody is being more mindful about the connections, the situations, the experiences, and seeing what's good and what is not, right? So very, very good energy I'm feeling, because this is great. We always want people to grow, evolve, ascend, right? We want everyone to, reach their goals and things like that. Ace of Pentacles is the first card up at the bottom of the deck, and I feel like this is that opportunity. This is that new beginning. This is that fresh start. I feel like it's something more solid, stable, like it's like planting that seed and, watching this grow as you nurture, evolve, and see this thing grow to fruition, to see all the flowers on there, to bring forth all that beauty, that abundance, that whatever that is for you. This feels like an energy, bottom of the deck, Four of Cups, where someone has been really restrictive. I feel like they've been really looking at what they've poured their energy into, and recognizing the return on that investment is how I'm feeling with this. I'm noticing first of all, the crown chakra really stuck out to me, but I am seeing the seventh chakra, so I am feeling this is somebody who has gone within and they've really felt some feelings. Like we see the Three of Cups right here, but this major Ace of Cups behind it with the sun coming up upon that Ace of Cups. So I feel like this is a part of a cleansing process, a healing process, of really looking at what they want to put their heart and soul into. I love to see the abundance of water, that cleansing energy that's coming down. It gives me that vibe of somebody really stepping into their power, attuning, aligning, and only pouring from an overflowing cup. They're no longer willing to put things out there that if this cup is only this full, there is no water that's going to be dished out of this cup. It's only going to be when their cup is already full, and then it can overflow. And that's how I'm feeling with this energy. There does feel to me like there's this Ace of Pentacles is showing up as a new beginning that's going to ultimately bring the filling of that Ace of Cups. So again, I do feel ace, ace, ace. I don't know why I said three aces, but we'll see. Two of Swords. This could be somebody who is at a crossroad. I'm feeling like with this specific Two of Swords, this is about a choice and a decision. And I'm feeling like this is somebody who's this feels mirrored to me. This energy does, even though you can see the difference, right? There's a difference in the swords. There's a difference in the background. I feel like this is an energy that has gone really deep within into that darkest space, their core, whatever you want to call it. And I feel like they're being liberated from that dark space. I feel like they're no longer willing to sit in the darkness, whatever that means for you. It can be in isolation. It can be, whatever this is for you. I feel like this is coming out of the dark and into the light. I love all the stars. Something feels very mystical and magical about whatever this experience. I feel like this is a crossroads. And somebody is choosing the higher frequency versus the lower frequency is how I'm seeing this. And I just feel that's what's coming through with all of this. So take what resonates, release what doesn't. The next card that comes out is the Queen of Cups, a positive energy. And Queen of Cups upright represents and speaks of being intuitive, being loving, being nurturing. Queen of Cups, again, emotions. Remember, we've seen that Four of Cups where this person is operating from a full cup, right? And I feel like these are representative of growth. Like there is something growing in the physical realm as a result of what they're nurturing, what they're feeding, but they're doing it from a place of love. They're doing it from a place of like when you invest, like if you plant a seed and you do not water that plant, you cannot expect for that plant to thrive and grow and evolve, right? This feels to me like somebody who is planting a seed. They're taking this crossroads. They're getting an opportunity. They're planting that seed. They're making a choice to go into the higher frequency, into the higher ascension process. And they're going to nurture and love. They're going to water that seed in order to see. And look, bottom of the deck is the Tower in reverse. So I feel with the Tower in reverse, it showed me the World in reverse underneath that. Two major arcana cards. There does feel to me, this feels to me like a challenge. It feels like a challenge for somebody who is really, it could be a fear that's rising up of taking a leap of faith, letting go, letting the old crash, or trying to hold it together, band-aid it, whatever it may be. I almost feel like this sense of trying to save something from crumbling that is meant to crumble. So be mindful if that is you, or it could be somebody that's around you, right? Like maybe you're making choices and decisions and they're not what somebody else wants, and that seems to be very challenging. It seems, they could play on your feelings and on your emotions, but this person is going to trust their intuition, and this person is going to nurture and grow something that reciprocates that energy, that helps them to grow and evolve as a person, as an individual, as a human, right? And so they're more mindful. Yes, I feel like that tower and that world in reverse is just something trying to be stopped or delayed from completing out, from closing. The moon is showing up next, and so when we talk about the moon, we can talk about the intuition, we can talk about fears. I do want to say this message is going to be put out there. We're still coming off from that new moon in Virgo energy, and so I'm really feeling focused when I'm seeing all this dark right there. And I've talked about even in this card right here, right into the dark. But if you look to the light, there's a path. This is somebody going towards that illumination, towards that higher self, towards that peak of the mountain. And I do feel like there could be a lot of fears that rise up. There could be a lot of opposition to all of this with hidden enemies. With this moon card, the moon is the ruler of Cancer, and here we are with that Cancer energy right there. On a collective level, that talks about your home, family, foundation, the place you feel safe, secured, nurtured, and loved, right? You can look and see where Cancer is in your chart, but to me this is like somebody who is coming out, like they're coming through this, and it may be hard for other people to see, or it may even be hard for you to see. These also feel like the tower to me as well, those energies right there. And that I feel, and look, with all the cycles of the moon, see them on the sides right there, like it's talking about cycles. There's something about a cycle that is taking place. I feel like there is some intensity to this, which we're all going to be feeling that right now for a little minute anyways. But I do feel like through the darkness is going to bring you towards the light. It's like following, you're leading yourself to the light, and that light always represents the higher vibrational frequency, happiness, love, joy, fun, them sort of things, and disconnecting, letting the tower fall on the things that are like discouraging, or the things that are just, like I said, they're blocks. They're things that hold you back, like stress, worry, anxiety. All of those are lower vibrational frequencies. So if you recognize a pattern or something that's going on where there is this connection where every time I'm around somebody or every time I go to this place, it's just my vibe shifts, my vibe changes, it's not a good vibe, yada, 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 that sort of thing. You have to be mindful and look at that, right? And be aware that maybe this is just not an energy to be around, be connected to, and be willing to release and surrender and allow that to go. Bottom of the deck was the Three of Wands. So this talks about quick movement forward. It talks about growth and expansion. I do love that, because I do feel like the more someone aligns with the higher vibrations, the higher frequencies, the easier and the more flowing the energy is going to go in that direction. And when that tower is crumbling and things like that, it won't feel so intense, because there is this healing that's taking place and this disconnection from those energies. There is the Princess of Cups, and there is an Ace of Cups that this person is receiving. So this feels kind of connected to that Ace of Pentacles. At the bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles. So this is something that's ultimately going to shift and change something in a lot of different areas of an individual's reality into their life. It's like the choice and the decision they make to take this opportunity to connect with things of higher vibration, their higher self, their intuition, their love, their nurturing nature. It was 11:11 when I was saying that. And allowing these things that are just, confusion, illusion, delusion, those are all dark energies, right? Hidden enemies fall into this category as well. So when you're seeing something, and I have said this many times, once you see something, you can't unsee it. You can justify it, you can make excuses for it, you can do whatever you want, but the reality is, if you keep ignoring the red flags and the signs, it will ultimately land in your lap in a way that there is no denying anymore. So I feel like somebody's getting out of that. Like they're no longer willing to accept excuses or reasons or be connected with shady energy, lower vibrational frequencies, things that just don't bring positive energy into a situation. And I feel like they're graciously accepting this new opportunity. They're at a crossroads. They're facing fears. They're trusting their higher self. They're letting the tower fall. This is letting the tower fall and embracing this new, right? To bring about a major change in their physical realm. So let's pull one more card, and then I'm going to pull a couple messages from the Spirit Junkie deck. All right, one more message, one more card. All right, all right, a whole bunch was good. Wow. One more card, and there it be. Tens represent completions. Again, we talked about the World card in reverse in the back. Yeah. This message, I feel like if you are an individual who has been on this journey, on this path, like feeling like you're, carrying the load, like I feel like you're a person who's been doing this on your own. Even if you were with somebody, it was like you were carrying all the weight, something like that. I feel like this cycle is over, and I feel like there is an energy. Temperance angel is showing up with the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. And I'm seeing the Hierophant underneath that. But I do want to say, so even if this was hidden enemies or blocking, sabotaging, doing something like that, right? That's over. That's being rejected. It's being like, I felt like saying return to sender, but I don't really want to do that. But it does feel like a return to sender. Like this is an energy that is not going to stick. This also gives me an energy of someone, and I feel like it's this hidden energy, enemy energy, that couldn't do it on their own. This person could not do it. I feel like this Wheel of Fortune, this change, this shift, is really bringing in balance, restoring balance, peace and balance to a situation, and bringing forth a major blessing. This could be like whatever this is for you, because the Hierophant can represent a commitment, a long-term commitment. It can be marriage because it can indicate that, but it can also be about something in your realm, such as your career, your job, your tribe, right? This is just that sense of, like, I'm feeling something is being woven behind the scenes, and I feel like, again, I've seen it up there. I'm seeing mountains here. Someone has climbed some significant mountains, and look at this. I love to see this energy, right? Because this, again, that crown chakra. I feel like somebody is trusting their higher self, believing and having faith. This is believing and having faith. So is this. This is belief systems in oneself. And the messages that they are receiving through their crown chakra is really going to bring them into alignment with something very, very beautiful. I'm feeling with this, something very fortunate, good fortune, great luck, that sort of thing, like positive, higher vibrational frequencies. Ace of Wands. And yeah, this is saying to me, like, there is a new beginning. There is action that's going to be taken. Here's that. Look at right here. That's that same energy as seen up here, right? Same energy. Whatever's been done in the dark, there is some sort of moving out of the dark and into the light. This is very interesting. I love to see that energy right there. So there is this spark, something that's going to be ignited. I feel like it's in regards to that Ace of Pentacles, that offer, that opportunity, something that feels very emotionally satisfying, nurturing, good for your soul. Whatever this is, it can be anything, right? If you decide to get a different job, or you're going into, you're meeting new people, or whatever this is, it just feels like aligning with vibrations that are more on your level. I'm not trying to say anybody is out here thinking they're better than anybody else. I don't feel like it's that, but we all have different standards, right? And some people have lower standards than others, and that's not a bad or a good thing, right? Having lower standards make you more tolerating of some crap. So sometimes we go through ascensions, right, where people have to learn, the lesson of, about raising their standards. So now we're going to talk about the messages from the spiritual junkie. My greatest experience of freedom comes when I let go of what others think of me. And I do feel this is important for this message right here, because I do feel people are looking at that right now. They're really looking at, like I said, like, is this for me? I mean, do I connect with these kind of people? Do I connect with this kind of job or career? Is it in alignment for who I truly am? Does it bring my soul fulfillment? That sort of thing. And so there's a deep dive that's taking place, and I do feel through the other side of this is a really beautiful way to go. It's safe to slow down, relax, and let go. Let go. Let go. Let that tower fall. Whatever's falling away for whatever reason, whether it be you bringing the ending to it or it happening with beyond your control, these are things that are happening for you, not to you. But it's about letting go, because something is just not meant to be, and it kind of feels like it's dead weight that's slowing you down, holding you back. And so this is why this is going on. I love this. Shine. The more I honor my inner light, the more I brighten the world. I choose to shine. And that's right. Be your best self. Live your happiest life. People don't like to have to like it, and you don't have to care. But it's about disconnecting and not allowing things to keep you small. Like I kept talking about fear, hidden enemies, right? A lot of times people who are hidden enemies will impose, like they plant a seed of doubt, of fear, of insecurity into your mind. And you can nurture that seed and grow that fear, doubt, and insecurity, or you can see that for what it really is and dismantle that illusion, that confusion, that distorted energy, and continue to be your happy, bright self. My power lies in my peaceful presence. So again, it's being mindful of things. Are they bringing you peace, or and really being honest with yourself? Like I said, I kept feeling this energy of justifying and making excuses for. It's like if you've ever heard people say, oh, that's just the way they are. That may be the way they are, but is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because that's what we need to recognize. That may be who they are, but that's not who I align with, and to act accordingly, right? To make those choices and decisions from that crossroad into if this is okay for you or not. I hope this message serves you well. I send you peace, blessings, love, and light. Have a great day.